What's going on, Jam fam? Welcome back to the gaming station. So we got another podcast going today. We got Aero on the line. How you doing today, Aero?
I'm doing just fine. How are you?
I'm great, man. I'm great. We're recording this on Saturday, so I just finished my stream a little bit ago. It was real smooth. Only one toxic person today.
That's good.
I know, the person joined and was like, "You're boring," and I'm like, "Why are you here if I'm boring? Please leave."
Fair point.
So Aero wanted to do a podcast because he's a good friend with Paulo and Eddie, and he was real interested in doing this stuff. So he messaged me a few days ago and asked to do a podcast. How long you got a YouTube channel yourself, right?
I do.
How long have you been doing YouTube for?
Well, a little over a year. I just started uploading like some unedited gameplay clips, and then it kind of just went up from there.
Like, how long did it take you to like actually start editing your videos and stuff like that?
Well, when I first started uploading, I didn't know about editing. Well, I mean, I knew about it, but I didn't know how to. So it took me a couple of months to eventually start editing.
Is there any particular reason why you actually decided to start editing and putting a little more effort into the videos instead of just uploading random clips?
Well, I thought they looked better, and I had started out watching some montage videos, and I thought those were cool, so I thought it'd be neat to make some of those.
Yeah, I watched a couple of your montages. You're actually pretty good. I really like your style. Your Colt one that you just put up, I think you put it up a week ago or so. That one was really nice.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So how'd you feel when you started gaining subscribers? I know you're around 200 right now, right?
Yeah. It started to feel really good because around it was really slow until the 100 mark, and then it started going up faster from there.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where people don't really respect you until you get around 100, and then you just take off from there. I experienced basically more or less the same thing. I think my channel really took off right around 160. That's when I started doing shorts and stuff, and my channel just blew up from there.
Yeah.
Answered that.
Yeah.
So I noticed you also like to do guides and stuff. Do you prefer to do guides or do you prefer to do montages?
Well, I mean, the guides take a lot of effort, and I mean, it takes a long time to script the videos and find all the stats. So I'd say the montages are easier, but the guides typically do better.
Yeah, as someone who does a little bit of montages and a little bit of discussions, I agree. Discussions tend to hold people's attentions a little bit more. Montages, they'll watch a few clips and then they cut away, and I get it because there's a million montages. So unless you're like an extremely good player and you're hitting these crazy trick shots or getting all these consistent team whites, there's better things to watch sometimes, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I've wanted to start doing more videos with my voice, but sometimes when I use scripts, it feels kind of forced, so I don't like doing it.
Yeah, I was the same way when I first started too. It's all about a comfort thing, in my opinion. Once you are more confident in everything, you can start talking on camera, or not. Well, you don't necessarily have to do it on camera, but anyway, you can start doing everything just by taking down notes. My suggestion to you would be to just try writing down just some bullet points and just try to talk your way through the bullet points, and then retake it as many times as you have to.
Yeah. My current strategy is pretty bad. I make a script word for word, and it's not great.
Yeah, I was literally the exact same way. But like I said, it's just a comfort thing. Eventually, you get used to just talking through yourself. You know what I mean? All right. So we'll move on to the next question. So what do you prefer to edit on?
Well, I feel like the better editing program for montages would be InShot, but I don't use that because you need premium to get all the cool transitions. So currently I use KineMaster just on my phone.
Yeah, I know a lot of people do everything right on their phone, and InShot and KineMaster are the two big ones that I've heard of.
Yeah.
I personally don't have the patience to edit on a phone. It's
yeah.
The touchscreens will drive me nuts. I've tried to use just to do shorts. I've tried to do Adobe Rush, just because I try to keep it simple, and it drives me nuts trying to clip it and then move it and shrink and edit the size. Man, I can't do it.
Yeah.
So the subject you really wanted to go over in this podcast today was going to be trophy pushing. Now, from what I see on your channel, you're actually a really good player. You've pushed your Frank to rank 30. Am I correct?
Yep.
How long did that take you?
Well, the first couple of days I played with randoms in Siege, and that was very painful. But once I got a team and we went into Brawl Ball, it was just smooth sailing from there. It only took a few hours from 800.
Oh wow, really?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I just tried to push my BB to rank 25. Now I've never pushed like really high trophies before. Like normally I'll get to 550 and that's where I stay for the season. And I wanted to get my BB to rank 25, 750. We couldn't break 700, dude. We played for hours and we got stuck and could not push her, could not break 700. We got to, I think it was 693.
Oh man, that's a bummer.
And then, yeah, like I said, we pushed for like 3 hours that day, so I ended up throwing in the towel on that push.
Yeah. It's tempting to throw in the towel if you keep getting like a lot of losses in a row. It's good to like take a break and maybe come back the next day, but you also have to look at like what maps are in rotation. So like Frank, for example, is only good in Brawl Ball and Siege, and you need to find the good maps. So
right, like Frank's not gonna do well on the more open maps, like I think it's called Backyard Bowl, the one where it's like literally all open in the middle.
Yeah.
And so as far as pushing with randoms, do you think it's possible to push really high trophies with randoms?
I think past 25 is possible, but once you hit like rank 28 and up, it gets more difficult.
Yeah, I could see that because that's when you're definitely facing more coordinated teams. It's a lot less likely that you're actually going to hit more randoms.
Mm-hmm.
And
And after 1,000, you need a team, otherwise you're going to lose.
yeah, because then you're very likely to face a pro or semi-pro player when you get up that high too.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you have a preferred mode you do like to push in? Like, not just Frank specifically, but like any brawler. Say you were pushing like Colt or Rico. What mode would you like to play in for those brawlers?
My favorite mode is Brawl Ball because like the games can go really fast, and I just find it the most fun. I know it's very possible to push in solo showdown because you don't have to rely on your team, but personally, I'm really bad at showdown, so I don't do that.
I feel that because I'm a trash showdown player as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, showdown, if you master like teaming and like 1-2 backstab and all that, I could see showdown being pretty consistent for wins because you only got to get to like 3rd place, right?
Mm-hmm. It's tough because the showdown meta makes it so that you have to team even though you may not want to, and you also have to know when to backstab, like you said. So it's tough.
Yeah, I know a lot of people frown on teaming, but the problem is that it's so accepted that you have to team that if you don't team, you're going to stick out like a sore thumb, and then everyone's just going to target you.
Exactly. Also, another tip for Showdown is if you have like really bright, shiny skins, like the True Gold skins, for example, don't use those because it makes you stand out more. And like, say you're on one of the Halloween theme maps where it's like all black and blue, use like a darker skin to just blend in.
I never thought of it like that. That's interesting. I guess that makes sense because then people are just gonna naturally stare at you if you're sticking out like a sore thumb. Yeah. Is there any brawlers that that you think are like really good to push right now? Like they're very viable.
Well, Colette is one of the best brawlers right now, and so is Spike. They're like 2 really hard tank counters as well. So if you want to push any tanks, like wait till this meta dies down a bit.
Yeah. With tanks being like super like hard counter right now because you got Amber, you got Spike, you got Colette, all those hard counter, and then
Exactly.
How are you feeling about like Carl and Brock? I know those 2 brawlers are like super strong since they got their new gadgets.
I think that both gadgets are really cheesy, and they're a lot of fun, but also extremely toxic.
I don't know about. I think the Brock one just needs like a damage nerf personally, because I think the utility of it's great. As far as the Carl one though, I could totally see where you're coming from with that, because you could just get your. What I do is I just get my super. I run protective pirouette, get my super, and then I just dive in, and then I can basically get a 1 or 2 kill guaranteed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have you tried out any other new gadgets like something like Colts or Barleys or something like that? What do you think about those the newer generation gadgets? I guess we could call them.
Colt's gadget is definitely broken. It's made him a lot better, especially in like Showdown. And Barley's gadget, it's pretty balanced, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, I think Barley could use with a slight buff, just because like the new Colt and Brock gadgets, they can just break the walls so easily, and that's where throwers thrive.
Yeah,
so
they just basically have like multiple ways to break walls, and the hard counters your throwers.
Exactly.
One gadget that I'm like super interested in, I haven't really played it because I don't play her that much, but Nita's gadget, the Fox Fur one, that one is actually pretty good. I faced it in Heist, and they threw the hyper bear on the safe, then popped Fox Fur, and we couldn't do anything about it because we didn't have any way to get the bear off the safe, and it actually reduced the damage down quite a bit.
Yeah, I think that's where Nita is the best right now with that gadget, hyper bear, and Heist. You can just get so much damage off, and they can't do anything.
Yeah. I know there's rumors that they might buff Bear With Me, and I'm actually worried about that because Bear With Me paired with that gadget could actually be really strong, depending on how you play Nita.
Yeah. Recently in some higher trophy ranges, I've seen that star power already being used, and if it gets buffed even, it'll be just so broken.
Yeah. So I mean, that's another thing to be aware of is, brawlers that are upcoming that might get buffed and nerfed. You got to pay attention to the balance changes. As a side note, everyone, we are doing these pre-balance changes. So if they announce like a balance change on like Monday or Tuesday, this video probably won't be out till Friday. So take everything we're saying about balances and stuff like that with a grain of salt. So other than like the stuff that we talked about, do you have any other side tips that we can talk about for trophy pushing?
Yeah. Well, we kind of just talked about like pushing a single individual brawler, but you can also like push like your overall trophies. And my biggest tip for that has got to be like set a single milestone that you want to get every single one of your brawlers to, and then push them all to that milestone. That may just be like 600, and then like a few days later step that up to 650, and then 700, and so on.
Yeah, that's a good tip. Do you think, just a random question, do you think that total trophies is any indication of like true skill or not?
Well, I mean, yes and no. If you're kind of more of like a mid-range player, say 20k to 30k, like trophies don't matter a whole lot. But just for example, Semantic, who is a player for Tribe, I believe he only has like 15,000 trophies, but he's still an amazing player.
Right. It's just he doesn't want to play ladder, so he doesn't play ladder. He just plays with friendlies, or he plays, casually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big advocate that total trophies doesn't really matter. If you really want to look at somebody's skill, look at where they've pushed actual brawlers to. For example, with you pushing a rank 30, I would say that you're probably more than likely above average. I haven't watched you play live, but from your montages and the fact that you pushed a brawler into the thousands, you obviously have some form of skill that's available.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And well, trophy pushing is also really time consuming because like once you get higher up in matchmaking, it starts to take a long time. So like I'm on break because school started back up in August and I just don't have the time anymore. So I just play casually now.
Yeah, that's another thing is that you got to dedicate a ton of time to it because I know Bobby BS and OG and Alec, they were pushing brawlers into like 2000 range. And that was one of their major complaints, is that it would take them 10, 20, 30 minutes to just get into a match. And then if they lost that match, it screwed them for the next 2 hours.
Yeah. It's really rough, but I don't think I'd ever push a brawler to 2,000 trophies. I'm not that patient. This summer I do plan to push my Frank up to rank 35, like depending on what the meta is.
Yeah.
But like that's my main goal right now.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna do it. Do you have any plans for your channel right now? I know you said you're busy with school, so your uploads have been a little inconsistent.
Yeah. Well, I want to get like more guides out. I think a Frank guide would probably be a good idea. You know, just because it's like the one brawler I'm really good at.
Can you do me a solid and do a BB guide?
Yeah, I'll keep that in my mind.
All right, man. Well, I want to thank you for coming on the channel. I really appreciate it. Everybody, comment down below what you think about trophy pushing, and if you have any goals specifically for trophy pushing. And as always, Aero's channel is going to be linked in the description. Do you have any socials you want me to link as well?
I have my Twitter and my Instagram.
All right, everyone go give him a follow on Instagram and Twitter. I'll link those as well. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.